in the vast deep forest of Hyrule. Long have I served as the guardian spirit I am known as the Deku Tree. The children of the forest, the Kokiri, live here with me. Each Kokiri has his or her own guardian fairy. However, there is one boy who does not have a fairy. Navi, where art thou? Come hither. O Navi the fairy, listen to my words, the words of the Deku Tree. Dost thou sense it? The climate of evil descending upon this realm. Malevolent forces even now are mustering to attack our land of Hyrule. For so long, the Kokiri Forest, the source of life, has stood as a barrier, deterring outsiders and maintaining the order of the world. But before this tremendous evil, even my power is as nothing. It seems the time has come for the boy without a fairy to begin his journey. The youth whose destiny it is to lead Hyrule to the path of justice and truth. Navi, go now. Find our young friend and guide him to me. I do not have much time left. Fly, Navi, fly. The fate of the forest, nay, the world, depends upon thee.
Hello, Link! Wake up! The Great Deku Tree wants to talk to you! Link, get up! Hey, come on! Can Hyrule's destiny really depend on such a lazy boy? Oh, you finally woke up! I'm Navi the Fairy. The Great Deku Tree asked me to be your partner from now on. Nice to meet you. The Great Deku Tree has summoned you, so let's get going right now!
Hey everybody, it's Darkling Muffin, and welcome to Let's Play The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. If you missed the trailer I put out last week, let me fill you in on what I intend to accomplish with this series. Ocarina of Time is one of those games that is so prevalent that pretty much everyone knows it. A lot of people played it when they were kids, and that's kind of where the problem I have with this game arises. See, I argue that people's familiarity with this game actually hinders their ability to enjoy it. Kids don't really have the ability to internalize and understand story and theming on a personal level, but because you grew up playing the game, you skip past the parts where that understanding matters, even though you're now old enough to understand those parts. So for this series, I want to ask something of you, the viewer. Watch this series like you've never played the game before. Throw away your knowledge of the game and really pay attention to the themes and the story, and think about how they make you feel. I'll try and help you along by providing you with how I feel about it, and I will also be showing off some things, showing off and talking about things that you might not have seen or might not have known about. So even if you can't play along, I hope that gives some value to the series. And before we move on, yes, I am playing the 3DS version. I know, it kind of caught me off guard too. While I was writing the notes for the series, I figured I'd just give it a try just to see how it is, and I ended up loving it. Genuinely, if you don't have an official way of playing Ocarina of Time and you're looking to pick it up, I can't recommend this version enough. But with that being said, the Deku Tree has summoned us, so let's head out and begin our journey. Welcome to Kokiri Forest, our home. Now, I'm not going to waste any time. I'm going to go ahead and talk to this person right away. They're very clearly excited to see us.
Wow, a fairy! Finally, a fairy came to you, Link! Wow, that's great news! I'm so happy for you! Now you're a true Kokiri, Link! Is that right? The Great Deku Tree has summoned you? It's quite an honor to talk to the Great Deku Tree. I'll wait for you here. Get going. Go see the Great Deku Tree.
That we shall. That is clearly our first mission. But before we do that, I do want to sort of make good on my promise to show off and talk about the sort of theming of the game. Right over here is an interesting little thing that I feel like I don't see anyone talk about, especially not thematically. This is sort of a drawing of a little small hero friend fighting a giant monster. This is presumably drawn by Link, and I think it's interesting sort of imagining what, like, this is kind of like when you're a kid and you're drawing yourself as, like, a superhero. That's how I'd sort of put that. It clearly shows that Link kind of, you know, imagines big things for himself, you know, a big adventure. And to further make good on my promise to show off things you might not have seen before, I'm going to show you something that you probably never considered to look at. So this is the back of Link's house. I never said it'd be interesting. Anyway, you can clearly see that Navi is flashing on screen. Navi clearly wants to chat with us, so let's go ahead and tap the Navi icon. I'm not gonna read this in Navi's voice, mostly because all of my voice lines were pre-recorded, and that voice in particular is hard to do. The Great Deku Tree has summoned us, so yeah, we need to head out to the Great Deku Tree. Let's just use the view icon to have a little look around and see where it is. It's actually over that way, it would appear. That's the biggest tree of the bunch. But let's go and do a few things along the way. First of all, there's this house here with this sign. If you read it, it says that this is Saria's house. Let's go ahead and have a look inside. So, inside Saria's house, there's a bunch of hearts strewn about on the floor. Saria is clearly performing some kind of occult ritual, and you know what? We support that. Saria, I guess I didn't mention this, but you probably already know anyway, but let's pretend you don't know. This person over here, that is Saria. That's our friend there. Let's see what this gentleman here is doing. That meanie Mido is making me cut the grass at Saria's house. Mido told Saria that he would do it so that she would like him, but I'm the one doing all the work. You and Saria are close friends, so will you help me cut the grass? I'll let you keep anything you find while cutting it. Well, unfortunately, we don't really have a way to cut the grass at the moment, and pressing A by it to grab doesn't really do anything helpful, so I guess that's just something we'll have to worry about later. This sign over here is, just ahead is the Deku Tree's meadow, so that's, you know, we're clearly going in the right direction, but I do want to show off this house here, which is the House of Twins. And that sign there is the Sign of Liars, because there's clearly only one person here.
My sister took some rupees and went shopping at that store with the red roof. Speaking of rupees, a green one is worth 1, a blue one is worth 5, and a red one is worth 20.
Well, I guess I appear the fool, as I forgot to consider that maybe one of the twins is just out shopping. But we'll have a look for that later. You can jump across these stones just by walking up to the edge. I'm probably going to keep the tutorial stuff to a minimum, but, you know, at relevant times, I'll bring it up. This person's clearly blocking our way. Let's see what they have to say. Hey, you, Mr. No Fairy! What's your business with the Great Deku Tree? Without a fairy, you're not even a real man. What? You've got a fairy? Say what? The Great Deku Tree actually summoned you? What? Why would he summon you and not the Great Mido? This isn't funny. I don't believe it. You aren't even fully equipped yet. How do you think you're gonna help the Great Deku Tree without both a sword and shield ready? What? You're right, I don't have my equipment ready, but if you want to pass through here, you should at least equip a sword and a shield. Sheesh! Alright, well, it appears our mission to go see the Great Deku Tree has been impeded by a rude gentleman. But that, character, one of the twins earlier was telling us about a red-roofed shop, which appears to be that area over there. So let's head over this way and... Hi, Link! Look this way! Look over here with L and talk to me with A. Well, by pressing L, I've kind of been doing this whole time, but by pressing L and pressing A, you can talk to people at a distance. Yes, that's how you use a fairy. It's so great that you finally have a fairy partner. I'll teach you how to talk to people using your fairy. When a fairy flies over to a person or thing, press L to look in that direction. If you use L targeting, you can talk to people from a distance, like we're doing now. When you have nothing that you can target, you can press L to just look forward. Try it. Of course, this kind of comes naturally when you've played this game enough, but you probably already know that. Let's see here in the shop if they have a sword and a shield. Let's have a chat with the owner. We sell shields, but not swords. Oh. Well, we can clearly see that there is a shield here for 40 rupees. We, unfortunately, if you have a look, only have 0. But, I'm gonna let you guys in on a little secret here. I'm gonna let you guys in on a secret. You can always steal rupees. Unfortunately, there's only 5 rupees back there, so we still need 35 more rupees to deal with that. Also, we have to go and look for a sword, so why don't we multitask and do that all at the same time? Now, these stones here are interesting, because if you hop across them like that, it should have worked, but it didn't. Let me quickly reset the area real quick. Alright, I'm gonna be extra sure that I get this. I don't know why these don't work for some reason. So you're supposed to get 5 rupees when you hop across these, and I believe if you touch the water, it doesn't give them to you. But it just doesn't want to give it to me for some reason. I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong. But if you have a little walk around in the grass, you can get some green rupees. That's pretty nice. What does this guy have to say? Hey, by the stone, pick it up. Hey, by the stone, pick it up. Me and old Mido, he's making me pick up the rocks in front of his house. Well, we can go ahead and help him out by grabbing the rocks with A. And I don't know if this guy is really weak or if Link is just really strong, but I'll let you guys make that decision. This, of course, here is Mido's house. And you know what we do with people that we don't like Mido over there? We rob them blind! Steal his money! 5 rupees! Another 5 rupees! A recovery heart that doesn't actually help us because we can't take damage right now! And a green rupee that's worth 1 rupee! That's 11 freaking rupees that we stole from this guy. If we head over this way, let's go ahead and talk with Saria again and see what she thinks about this whole situation.
What? Mido won't let you go see the Great Deku Tree? Oh, that bum! I don't know why he's always so mean to everyone. What he said is true, though. The forest, strange things have been happening here lately. You need to be ready for anything. You'd better find a weapon. You can buy a shield at the shop, but there's only one sword hidden around somewhere in the forest.
Okay, so it's hidden somewhere in the forest. That's where we'll find a sword. But heading back over to Saria's house, there's this weird bridge connecting Saria's house and this other thing, and of course there's a ramp around the back that you can walk across to get there. And I gotta be very careful on this thing because I almost always just, if I'm not paying attention, will just jump right off. Let's see what this person has to say.
Hee you came all the way up here? You're a real man. Look, isn't this view pretty? Change your viewpoint with the eye icon so you can look around the forest with the control stick.
And indeed, again, showing off that this game just looks so much better in the 3DS version than the original version. I also wanted to take a moment to shout out the interior of the shop, which looks so good in this version compared to the N64 version. Seriously, I cannot recommend this version enough. But as we were looking around, you may have noticed there's that little hole up there, as well as if we go around this lady here, there's another hole over there. So let's go and check out what those are all about. That character actually has a name, and she looks different. Also 5 rupees there. She looks different than all the other Kokiri girls who are kind of about. It's not really known what her purpose was. Her name is Fado, I should say. Her name was Fado, and she, at some point in the game's development, she had an important role to play in the story, or at least some role to play in the story, but unfortunately that's been completely cut out. It's currently unknown what that role in the story might have been. But welcome to the Lost Woods, the place that's gonna get me copyright striked, but guess what? I don't make money off these videos anyway, so I don't care. We have 3 ways to go. Let's just go straight ahead, I guess? And we immediately get lost. So let's not worry about that, and let's check out what this other entrance is over here.
You're not allowed to leave the forest. The Great Deku Tree said that if we Kokiri ever leave these woods, we will die.
Oh, gee. What does the sign say? Forest folk shall not leave these woods. Yeah, he's, you make a really good signpost, as well as a good blocker. I mean, look at this guy's legs shuffling around to keep us out. It's quite impressive, if you ask me. So there's pretty much only one area left to explore that we haven't already, and it's this area up here. First of all, this house over here is the House of the Know-It-All Brothers. If we pop inside, I'm going to show you these guys, but I'm not going to talk to any of these guys, because these guys are basically tutorial characters. You chat with them, and they talk forever about whatever you ask them about. They basically tell you how items work, but I'm going to assume that you guys can figure out how to play on your own. Or, if you're playing it on your own, you can talk with them, and they'll tell you how to play the game. Forest Training Center. Don't recklessly cut signs. Read them carefully. We're gonna want to keep that in mind for a moment. This sign here says thrust attack signs. To thrust with your sword, press the analog stick towards your target while L targeting, then press B. Unfortunately, at this current moment in time, we don't have a sword, but we'll move swiftly on and see what this guy has to tell us.
Hey, let's work on some moves. To jump sideways while L targeting, press A as you move left or right. To do a backflip while L targeting, press A as you move backwards. To do a roll attack while L targeting, press A as you move forwards. While you roll, you can avoid damage, just like Dark Souls. Clearly, Ocarina of Time is the Dark Souls of the Zelda series. If you have your sword ready while L targeting, you can do a jump attack by pressing A. A jump attack does double damage. You can use L targeting on the stone next to me. Let's practice! Alright, well, you can roll, you can side hop, you can backflip, and if you backflip, you will be rewarded with a lovely blue rupee, which is very nice. You can also get a green rupee, but honestly, I don't care much for that. Hole of L. Let's go through the small hole. Stand in front of the hole and push the analog stick towards it. When the action icon shows enter, press A to crawl in the hole. Pay attention to what the action icon says. Yeah, so if you notice the A bubble down in the corner, that's been changing this whole time, and that's because that's our action icon. It tells us what we can do, such as entering a hole. And no, I'm not going to make a joke about that. Continuing on, if we call through this hole, let's have a little look at this sign here. Viewpoint with L targeting. When you have no object to look at, you can just look forward with L. Stop moving and then change the direction you are facing, or hold down L for a little while. This can help you get oriented in the direction you want to face. It's quite convenient. If you hold down L, you can walk sideways while facing straight ahead. Walking sideways can be a very important technique in dungeon corridors. Turn around and try doing this right now. Yeah, so you can kind of sidewalk, side everything. It's an interesting little technique. You don't get to use a lot. There's a blue rupee over here. That's quite nice. And oh my god, it's a boulder! This place is dangerous! Another little technique that they talk about very briefly later in the game, I guess, but you can L-target. Sorry, you can L-target around corners like this and see what's around the corners before you make any quick leaps if you're in unfamiliar territory. If we look over this way, another blue rupee. Nice, nice. Oh god, okay, we're Indiana Jones in that one. Good lord. Spooky, scary. But if we look over this way, there's a chest. Visit the House of the Know-It-All Brothers to get answers to all your item-related questions. I don't have any item-related questions. I've played this game once or twice. Let's go ahead and see what's inside this chest. You got the Kokiri Sword. Tap the gear icon on the lower screen to open up the gear subscreen, and then tap the weapon to equip it. This is a hidden treasure of the Kokiri, but you can borrow it for a while. Please be sure, it doesn't say please, but be sure to practice with it before you really fight. Good lord. Now, we're gonna go ahead and equip that right away by touching the gear icon. This is our gear subscreen. Doesn't really look like much, but we can go ahead and equip our Kokiri Sword there. And let's hope I don't have such a close call with this boulder. Run. Okay, we're safe. Oh, man, this game is really exciting. Now that we have a sword, let's go and, if we have a look at how many rupees we currently have 46, which is enough to afford that shield. So, without further ado, let's go and get the shield. But I do want to make a note that if you remember what that sign said, as well as what this sign says, if you remember this one told you about thrust attack signs? And if you attack the sign at all, it pops out a blue rupee. So there's another little source of money there. Real nice thing. Let's see if these stones will be nice to me and let me get some rupees by jumping across this time. Yeah, there we go. Now we have 56 rupees. That's quite nice. We have a nice surplus, and only some of it is stolen. In fact, the amount of it that is stolen is not enough to take away from our ability to afford the Deku Shield. We stole 16 rupees. If we didn't steal, we would have 40 rupees. So I see this as an absolute win. I'm not giving the money back though, because it is mine. You got a Deku Shield. Switch to the gear subscreen and tap the shield to equip it, or select it with the control stick and press A to equip it. Press R to crouch and defend. If you press R while L targeting, you can move while defending. Would I like to buy something else? No thank you. I only have 16 rupees and none of the other things are really that useful. But yeah, while we're here, I just want to point out just how nice this shop looks. It just looks so good. But with all of that done, I'm gonna go ahead and equip the Deku Shield right here and now. And let's head over to the Great Deku Tree, now that we are as equipped as Mido wants us to be. If you want to see the Great Deku Tree, you should at least equip a sword and a shield. Eh? What's that? Oh, you have a Deku Shield. And what's that? Is that the Kokiri Sword? Good grief. Well, even with all that stuff, a wimp is still a wimp. I, the great Mido, would never accept you as one of us. Shoot, how did you get to be the favorite of Sari and the Great Deku Tree, huh?
Well, with that cleared out of the way, I think this video has been going on long enough. In the next episode of The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, we're going to head up to the Great Deku Tree, and we're going to see what he wanted with us. See you guys then!